It's time for a history lesson. And no, I'm not talking about this type of history. I'm talking about Linux command line history. But before we get started, some coffee. Oh yeah, now I'm ready to get started. Let's jump right into it. So Linux history, how do we use it? How do we view it? How do we delete it and cover our tracks? And what files within the Linux system are used to store our history? We're going to learn all that and much more. But first, we need to connect to our lab. If you don't have a lab and you'd like to know how to set one up, I've got videos for that. Check them out on my channel. All right, let's get connected to the lab. SSH, my login name at the IP address of my virtual machine. And hey, remember that? Hello, welcome to the lab. That's one of the banner messages we added in one of the other videos. Check it out if you haven't seen that. Put in our password, and we are in our lab. So how do we view the history in the Linux command line? Well, it's easy to remember because it's the command history. Let's go ahead and check that out. And look at all of the commands that we've already run. These commands are constantly logged into the system for each command that you run. If I do uptime, history, look at that. There's both those commands that I just ran. That's pretty cool. But if it logs everything, does it also log things that aren't commands? Oh, you betcha. If you accidentally copy and paste a password into there, it's going to store it. Maybe we don't want that in there. That's not good to be putting passwords inside of a Linux command line history. That's a security risk. Well, how do we look at that and get rid of it? Let's check that out. All right, we're back in our Linux terminal, and we want to get rid of that Linux history. So we can see that number 24 is our secret password. And each of these commands that we've run have a numeric value, and that's important because we can use that numeric value to delete individual commands from our history. And that's done with history minus D and the number we want to delete. Now, if we run the history command again, look at that. It's all gone, right? Well, check this out. Just when you think your history is clear and you're in the clear, we log out by typing exit, hit up on our arrow pad, log back in, do the history command again, and oh my God, look at that. Number 24 is back. What the heck is going on? The reality of this situation is that it's less of a problem and more of a working as designed type of situation. But we can get around this. I'm going to show you how. Step 1, let's run our history command just to make sure it's still there. Number 24, yeah, sure is. We still have our vulnerable secret password inside of our history command line. Now, the reason that it is showing back up after we log out and log back in again is because of a file that stores all of the commands that we've run. And every user has their own file, by the way. And that file is called the .bash_history file. Let's take a look at that. cat.bash_history. Remember, we can hit tab to complete those commands out just like that. And hey, check that out. When we log out and log back in again, what's happening is that the Linux bash is reading this file and putting it right back into the history command. So how do we get rid of that? I'm going to show you how right now. Let's go ahead and run history again to get a fresh history of our history, and we can see that our secret password, number 24, is still there. How do we get rid of it? We got to delete it again with history minus D and the number that it's sitting on, number 24. Now the history is gone from our current session, but now we need to push this to the file by doing history minus W. And once we do that, when we log back out and log back in again, let's go ahead and run history, and look at that. Our secret password's not there anymore. That is fantastic. The history minus W command pushes our current history that's in our current session, or I should say the history in our current session, down to our .bash_history file and wipes that command away for us. So that's pretty cool. But what if we wanted to delete all of our history? We don't want anybody seeing any of the commands that we've run permanently. Let's go ahead and see how that's done. And just to confirm, we run the history command. We can see that we still have all of our history, and to get rid of all of our history, type history minus C, run history again, and we can see that it's all gone. But remember, if we don't flush this down into our .bash_history file with history minus W, it'll come right back. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll exit, and we'll log back in, put in our password, and run history, and look at that. All of the history that we had, minus the fact that we erased the history, is completely gone from the history for this user. Linux history. Now you know everything about it that I know. How to clear it, how to view it, how to delete certain entries. I hope you found this video helpful. I want to thank you for collaborating, and thank you to everybody that subscribed and liked and commented on my videos so far. It really means a lot to me. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you all in the next one.